Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is lamp. L-A-M-P.
Really?
You bet your life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You'll Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Groucho! That's me, Groucho Marx. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples. Fenneman, who's first to try for it?
Well, we asked if there were any young single people present tonight who'd like to get married someday.
Mm-hmm.
Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Ellen Chambers and Mr. Charles Crumb. And here they come. Folks, step up here and meet Groucho Marx. Right in here.
Welcome, youngsters, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Ellen Chambers, huh? Where are you from, Ellen?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore?
Mm-hmm.
Very pretty girl.
Thank you.
Is that the standard Maryland type?
Oh, much better than
Much better?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a straight train that runs right from here to Baltimore? I mean, without touching Johns Hopkins? I've never touched Johns Hopkins right away. I tried to touch him for $5 once, but I didn't quite make it. How old are you, Ellen?
20.
20, huh? Mm-hmm. And, Mr. Charles Crumb, is that right?
Correct, sir.
How old are you, Charlie, my boy?
25, sir.
25, huh? You're not married?
No, sir.
Why not?
I haven't found the right one yet.
Well, the evening's young, and so are you. And so am I. And one of us is a liar. Where are you all from, Charlie?
I was born in Breckenridge, Texas.
Oh, a couple of Southerners we've got here tonight, huh?
I'm not Southern.
You're not Southern? Well, you're half Southern. Half Southern and half Maryland fried chicken. Charlie, what sort of work do you do?
I'm a caller.
A caller? What kind of a caller? A hog caller? A train caller? Or just a white collar worker?
A square dance caller.
A square dance caller. Oh, I see. Do you call them the same things I call them? Can anybody dance a square dance?
Anybody, sir.
Could an old rounder like me dance a square dance?
Well, anybody that knows their right from their left can square dance.
Well, that answers the question, all right. I'll take up hopscotch. Or just scotch. Do you take your wife with you when you go square dancing, Charlie?
No, sir, I don't have a wife.
Oh, that's right. And whose wife do you take with you?
Nobody's wife.
You don't take anybody's wife with you? And you're
No,
a
sir.
square even when you're not dancing. What is your favorite square dance, Charlie, and how does it go?
Well, I like, best of all, I guess, Sally Gooden.
Sally Gooden, well, that sounds...
That's if I'm dancing.
Uh-huh. Well, how does that go?
Well, starts with first...
Swing it loud and clear?
You mean call it?
Yeah, let's hear you call
Right? Right here?
it. Stop giggling, Charlie. You're...
I'm not giggling. Well, you bow to your partner, lady, on left knoll, join hands in circle south. Now circle right about a mile, lady, and lead the Indian style right back home and swing. Now 4 gents out to the right and swing. Sally Goodness, hold your might right back home and swing your toe and
And
cross
tip the
that-
canoe and tile it too.
And cross the boat.
You have a very fine voice, Charlie. That's a lie, but you're among friends here. So. Do you work, Ellen?
Oh, yes.
What do you do?
I run the elevator at the Broadway Hollywood here in town.
Is that so? Well, that's the finish of the May Company as far as I'm concerned. Do you listen to what people are saying in your vertical cement mixer?
No, I don't pay attention.
You don't pay any attention? No, you don't, eh? Somebody says second floor, you just ignore him and haul him up to the roof. Now, Ellen, you girls must have a few complaints against the public. Now, this is your chance to talk up. What annoys you most in your job?
Men that smoke cigars on my car. I'm sorry, but it's true.
Well, don't look at me. I always crawl up the back stairs. I'd like to use the escalator, but I can't seem to get off one of those things. I stand there for 10 minutes. I don't know which foot to start with. Now, what else annoys you in the elevator?
Well,
And who else annoys you in the elevator?
very often I'll have be standing out on the main floor, and the up light will be on, and I'll stand there and smile and very sweetly try to be very sweet, say, "Car going up, please. Going up over here. Going up, please." Someone will be walking towards me, and they'll get about 3 feet away, and they say, "Going down?" I have to give them a nice big smile. "Going up, please."
Well, you know what it is, Ellen. They're so bewitched by your beauty that they don't pay any attention to what you're saying.
They know that bargain's up on the 4th floor, and they want to get there as fast as they can.
Oh, the bargains. I thought the bargains were in the basement.
No, not in our store.
Oh.
It confuses everyone.
Well, I know in Macy's they're in the basement. If Macy's don't send me one whole floor for saying that, there's going to be trouble. Well, Ellen, could you call out a few floors for us? Say we're approaching the 4th floor where the bargains are. Now, how would you announce the items there?
Well, I say 4th floor next, lingerie, ladies' powder room, bathrobes, and collegienne shop, and hat bar. And
A hat bar? What's a hat bar?
Well, that's where the cheaper hats are, and I always love to say when someone gets in the car and they say, "Where's the millinery?" And I always love to say, "Better millinery on 3, hat box on 4, and then wait to see where they get off. They all get off on 3 and walk up to 4.
She's very pretty, but I wouldn't like to be married to her. I'd always be getting off at the wrong floor. Well, you're a charming couple, and I'm sure the 3 of us will be very happy together. Now, in just a minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,000 question. But first, a word about the exciting new Plymouth.
It's here, the exciting new Plymouth.
And what a beauty. From every angle, a brand new look. And inside, luxurious new styling and color harmony.
And wait till you drive it. You're in for a brand new riding sensation. Plymouth's Safety Flow Ride, a revolutionary new use of hydraulic principles. First time in any car at any price.
Ruts in the road?
They just don't exist in a new Plymouth.
Dips in the detours?
Your new Plymouth eats them up.
Backseat bounce?
Not on your life. Rolling along in your new Plymouth, even the bumpiest roads feel like a super highway.
And the result? You drive relaxed, free from tension, and with a new confidence and peace of mind that means you drive more safely, too.
So see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer and arrange for your ride. Put the new Plymouth through its paces on the roughest roads in town. Then you'll know why the new Plymouth is today's biggest value among low-priced cars.
Now, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,000 question. Fenneman, explain the rules.
Each of our 3 couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions, and the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question at the end of the show.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected Western movie heroes. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 are you going to try?
I don't know. Do you?
You say.
All right, $10.
$10. What was the name of the masked man of the West with a pal called Tonto?
Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger is correct.
And you're off to a good start. You have $30.
You got $30. Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. How much of your 30 are you going to bet on this one?
How much?
Talk up, and
Well.
And play your bets and tip a canoe and pile of
Say, $15?
$15.
Okay.
15 smackolas. What is the name of the cowboy with a pal named California and a horse named Topper?
That's Hopalong Cassidy.
Hopalong Cassidy is right.
You have $45.
All right, you got $45. Here's your third question. How much of the 45 are you going to tamper with?
$20?
That'll be fine.
All right. What is the name of the cowboy who has an Indian boy named Little Beaver as a pal?
Red Rider.
Red Rider is correct.
And your final $65.
$65. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 65 are you going to go for?
No.
Uh-oh. No
We want to
talking,
have
please.
some left.
Not fair. Oh, tip a canoe and pile of 2, and here we go, and the Salagazan. Now, look, don't holler. Don't coach them because it's not fair to the other couples. Now, you might like one of the other couples better. It's not conceivable that I'm going to like anybody better than this, but it's possible. Right? $30. What is the name of the singing cowboy with a horse called Trigger?
Roy Rogers.
Roy Rogers is right.
And you wind up with a grand total of $95 from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers, and thanks very much.
What's next on the agenda?
Well, I want to tell you, Groucho, the secret word is still lamp. And here comes our next couple, Groucho. A fashion expert and a married man. They were selected from our studio audience just before we went on the air. Mrs. Florence Marcia and Mr. Max Snyder. Folks, meet Groucho Marx. Right up here, please.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Typical husband and a fashion expert, eh? Mr. Max Snyder, I presume you're the husband, typical husband. Typical husband and Tyler, too, and here we go. Where were you born, Mr. Snyder?
I was born Devil's Half Acre, Bangor, Maine.
Devil's Half Acre? Why do they call it Devil's Half Acre?
Well, probably because because it was raised down there, I guess. Plenty of devil.
The devil was raised. Now, would Devil's Acre be anywhere near Belly Acres? That's, Well, how do you know you were born there, Mr. Snyder?
Well, my mother told me.
Your mother told you that, huh? Well, that's purely circumstantial evidence. What sort of work do you do, Mr. Snyder?
I'm a shipping clerk.
And you, Miss Florence Marcia, is that right? You're a fashion expert?
That's right.
Uh-huh. Well, that's a nice job, isn't it? Where are you fashioning?
Well, I have
Miss
a shop
Marcia,
on
huh?
Wilshire Boulevard across from the Ambassador Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies' dress shop.
Ladies' dress shop.
That's
What's the
right.
name of it?
Marcia of California.
Uh-huh. And what kind of clothes do you make?
Well, we make clothes for all occasions.
For all occasions?
Yes.
That's interesting. What kind of a dress do you suggest for a hot shower? Something cool, I suppose. Now, what's your average price for a dress?
Daytime or evening?
You mean your prices change after 6 o'clock? Well, let's say about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. After I spend all my lunch money.
Well, prices vary. If a house dress or an afternoon dress, it isn't as expensive as a cocktail dress.
A cocktail dress? What is a cocktail dress? They come a little higher?
Yes, they come a little higher.
Well, those are the ones I'm interested in. Now, with a cocktail dress, do you put an olive or an onion in the dresses? Personally, I prefer a tomato in mine. Now, Mr. Snyder, how much does your wife spend for a dress?
I really don't know. She handles all the money.
Now, take a stab at it. What do you think is reasonable for a dress?
Well,
Yes?
You keep out of this, Lawrence, huh?
Oh, I don't know, about $8 or $9.
Well, that may be reasonable, but I bet that isn't what she spends, though. Now, how do you go about designing a dress? What's your modus operandi? I read that somewhere in a telephone booth, huh? I thought it was the name of a girl, and I tried to get her on the phone, huh? Modus operandi. Turned out to be a Greek girl. She didn't understand a word I was saying. Could you tell us how you dream up a gown, Florence?
well, the first thing I would do I would take your measurements, and I would measure...
You're not the only one who's taken those, huh?
I would measure your shoulders and your torso and your waistline, your hips, and then I would measure you from the waist to the floor.
Suppose I'm standing on my hands. All right, now you've got my measurements. What about the new fashions for women? Is the plunging neckline going to keep plunging?
Oh, I think you'll see a lot more of the plunging neckline.
I hope so. You know, on some television programs, that's all they've got for entertainment. Well, thanks to you, too, I'm no longer in the dark about women's fashions. Now, let's see if you two can win a lot of money. You run your $20 into more than our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question. Now, Fenneman's off stage to remind our listeners how much the first couple won.
The elevator operator and the square dance caller won $95.
Now, here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected card games. Now, here's your first question. How much of the 20 are you going to try?
10?
Talk up, kids.
10.
All right. In what game is the Queen of Spades 13 points against you?
Hearts.
Hearts is right.
All right, you people have $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now, how much of the $30 you're going to try on this one?
No, 25.
25.
You're going to bet 25. In what card game are the red trays worth 100 points?
Canasta.
Canasta is correct.
$55.
All right, now, here's your third question. How much of the 55?
50.
$50. In what card game is pegging the method of scoring?
Cribbage.
Cribbage is right.
You're really up there now. You have $105.
Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. You're going to bet how much?
105. Got the
You're
work.
going to bet $105. Now, please don't help him. In what card game do you use the term little slam?
Bridge.
Bridge is correct.
And you'll wind up with a grand total of $210. Thank you very much. Groucho, the
Yes?
secret word is still lamp. We invited some people in uniform to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Private Mary Gillespie of the United States Marines and Seaman Clarence Mulheron of the United States Navy. And here they are. Folks, step up here and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome, kids, to You Bet Your Life. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100 between you. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. A sailor and a lady Marine, huh? Where are you from, Lady Marine?
Mackinac Island, Michigan.
How old are you, Mary?
25.
25, huh? Where are you from, sailor boy?
Princeton, West Virginia.
How old are you, Clarence?
26.
20, and you're 25, huh? Now, Mary, how do I address you? As Admiral or General or Miss so-and-so or what?
Well, I'm off duty. You can do as you like.
Well, isn't that a shame? At the moment, I'm on duty. Huh? However, I won't be here indefinitely. How long have you been a sailor, Marine, Clarence?
I was in the Navy 3 years during the war, and I was recalled to active duty August this year.
Uh-huh. You like it?
Yes, sir.
How long you been in the Marines?
About 4 months.
4 months, huh? Well, Mary, I'll just call you Honey, huh?
All right.
First time I ever called a Marine Honey, huh? Where are you stationed, Mary?
At the Marine Air Station, El Toro.
El Toro? El Toro, what does that mean?
Means the bull.
It sounds reasonable. Huh? A tough male Marine could be likened to a bull, I suppose, only what does that make a lady Marine? Skip it, I never should have brought it up. Huh? Where are you stationed, sailor?
Coronado.
Well, that's a pretty flossy place down there, isn't it? Well, why are you stationed down there?
That's where the base is.
Speaking of base reminds me of an old story of Will Rogers. Many years ago, I was playing baseball, and he was on the other team. He was playing second base for the other team. And somehow I got on first, and I started to get down to second, and Rogers is standing between second base and the pitcher. So the catcher throws the ball to Rogers, and he turns around to me, and I'm way over there, and he says, "You're out." I says, "You're crazy. Well, you're nowhere near me. You have to touch me on second base. You're not near the base." He says, "Look, son," he says, "when you get to my age, wherever you stand is second base." What do you do in the Navy?
I'm a UDT man.
UDT? Is that like DDT? You're not an insecticide, are you?
No, sir.
Well, what is UDT besides UT? Well, that's what it is. Imagine asking somebody what he does, and he says, "I'm an UT." Now, what is a UDT?
It's underwater demolition teams.
Oh, well, that explains everything. Except that I still don't know what you're talking about. What's an underwater demolition team?
Well, you might have heard us call frogmen. When we're dressed for action, we have the appearance of a frog with our rubber suits and such.
You look like a frog? Better be careful what you say now. Some of my best friends are frogs. Hopalong Cassidy, for example. What makes you think you look like frogs? Hop along. You see, frogs, they jump around like that. I don't mind explaining them. I have plenty of time. And since you're not listening anyhow, we might just... Now, what kind of training do you get for your work underwater, sailor?
Oh, we get dynamiting, swimming, drop and pick up. We usually have a day of hours PT in the morning, mile...
What's PT?
Physical training. And a mile or 2 mile run down the beach.
I like the condescending way he explains everything to me. Suppose you were doing reconnaissance work in combat. Now, just what do you do?
We're dropped from a high-speed landing craft approximately 500 yards from the beach and swim in to the beach with explosives and destroy what obstacles might be there to hinder a landing force. I might mention the first night reconnaissance I ever went on, how scared I was. It was a night reconnaissance at Guam, and it was under the cover of darkness, and we got so close to the beach that we could see the sentries lighting their cigarettes and talking to one another. We heard the cement mixer running. They were making obstacles, I guess, for us to blow up. And we could hear dogs barking, and it was quite an experience for a green lad like me right out of high school.
I should think so. Right? You know, I don't think the American people appreciate the hazardous work you kids are doing to keep our country safe. Now, Clarence, let's discuss something far more dangerous. Would you be interested in making a date with the Marine Corps after the show?
It's between paydays, and
You mean you're flat as a pancake?
pretty well bent.
Well, now, suppose you won some money in the quiz. Would you take Mary out for a date?
Yeah, sure thing.
Mary, would you like a date with an eager fellow who likes to croak at the moon?
I might.
Fine, I'll meet you right after the show. Now, Clarence, you're going to play You Bet Your Life, and if you win any money, I'm going to hold you to your promise. You're going to take Mary out for a hot time, aren't you?
That's right.
And not underwater either, huh? All you got to do is run you $20 into more than our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the $1,000. I can't tell you how much the other couples won, but Fenham is going to remind our listeners.
The fashion expert and the married man are ahead with $210.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected Keeping Up with the Smiths and Joneses. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
Yeah.
Okay, what was the name of the Smith who was a friend of Pocahontas? Captain John Smith is right.
You're off to a good start. You have $30.
All right, remember you're going for $1,000. Now, how much of the $30 will you bet on your second one?
You're the boss.
20?
Yeah.
20.
You say she's the boss?
Women are supposed to wear the britches in the family.
Well, I'm assuming that what he says is correct. Now, what is the name of the famous locomotive engineer named Jones?
Casey.
Casey Jones is right, huh?
Now you have $50.
Now, here's your third question. How much will you bet?
40.
Okay.
You're going to bet 40? Now, Clarence, remember, if you win, you're going to take Mary out?
That's right.
Don't look so resigned to this. Mary is a very attractive girl. All right, what was the name of the New York governor who was famous for his brown derby? Al Smith is right.
And you find him $90.
All right, you got $90, and here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much will you bet?
Yeah, I guess.
50.
50.
50.
What is the name of the zany orchestra leader named Jones?
Oh, one that has a...
Talk it over now.
You know that funny program with that.
Spike Jones.
Yeah.
Spike Jones is right.
grand total of $140. And that means the fashion expert and the married man with $210 get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question.
Folks, the other street. A ride in the wonderful new 1951 DeSoto. It's by far the finest car DeSoto has ever built. It's too long and low, beautiful and wide enough for real comfort, with plenty of trunk space. But the most outstanding thing about the 51 DeSoto is its ride. The ride's a revelation. You've never driven so comfortably in your life. The steering is featherlight, and this new DeSoto, of course, lets you drive without shifting. It makes even the roughest road feel like a smoothly paved highway, thanks to a new kind of shock absorber. It's got new synchronized springs, chair-high seats, and a big new higher-powered engine. All in all, the 51 DeSoto is the biggest car value I've ever seen. Do me a favor and watch for this great new DeSoto. Coming in a few days to your DeSoto Plymouth dealer. It's a revelation.
And Groucho, here comes the winning couple, the fashion expert and the married man, all set for the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question.
Well, you can buy me a new dress if you win here tonight, Mrs. Florence Marshall. All right, here we go for $1,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully and please, no help from the audience. Here it is. Hollywood's first Oscar was awarded to a young actress in 1928. Who was the first Academy Award winner? What is the answer you two have decided upon?
Janet Gaynor.
Janet Gaynor is right. Well, now let's see. You win $1,000 plus $210 in the
right.
quiz. So you really cleaned up tonight. Congratulations. From the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast, you bet your life.
Thank you.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $1,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. When parking on a hill, don't depend on your handbrake. Turn the wheels to the curb. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith, music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman, signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is walk. W-A-L-K.
Really?
You Bet Your Life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only... Groucho!
That's me, Groucho Marx. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples. Fenneman, who's first to try for us?
Well, Groucho, we invited some good humor girls to the program tonight,
And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Tony Cacavallo. And her partner is a lifeguard, Duke Gilbert. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if you say the secret word, you'll win $100. It's a common word, something you do every day. Duke Gilbert, you're a lifeguard?
Yes, sir, I am.
Where are you from?
Born in the Philippines, Manila, Philippine Island.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, sir.
Why are you called Duke?
That's my name.
Well, that's an excellent reason. Is that your real name?
Yes, sir, it is.
Where do you do your life saving, Duke?
At Avalon, Catalina Island, California.
Miss, what did you say? Tony Cacavallo?
That's right.
You're a good humor girl?
I sure am.
Where are you from, Tony?
Hammond, Indiana.
Isn't it unusual for a girl to be a good humor man?
We're an experiment.
You're an experiment?
That's right.
How are you an experiment? I don't understand, Tony.
Well, there are only 13 of us, and if we make good, you may see us all over.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you can get all that for a dish of ice cream, it's not bad. Now, as a good humor man, and of course I use the word loosely, what are your duties?
Mostly selling ice cream.
Mm-hmm. You sell it all over? What do you do with the money you take in? Do you go out and buy yourself an ice cream cone?
Well, usually they expect us to turn it in, fill out a slip, and...
You fill out a slip, huh? Yes, I imagine you would, huh? And rather well, too, huh? Are you in a good humor right now, Tony?
I think so.
Well, let me hear you laugh. Go ahead, laugh out loud, huh? Yeah. Would you mind keeping that laugh going until I can think of a joke? Well, that's enough, Tony. You'll have us all weeping if you keep that. Now, what do you carry in your wagon, Tony?
Well, we have good humors, juicy freeze, Heinz banquet rolls.
Heinz, could you sell me a fifth of scotch?
No, but I might sell you a pint of butterscotch.
No, I better not. I have to drive home tonight. Now, Duke, your Royal Highness, pardon me. Let's talk about your job as a lifeguard. Is it true that a drowning person always goes down 3 times?
No, sir, that's a fallacy.
It is?
They've gone down more times than that.
Well, as far as you know, what is the greatest number of times a drowning person has gone under?
Well, I remember seeing somebody bob up and down about 7 times.
That's nice. The poor sucker's out there drowning, and you're standing on the beach counting, huh?
Someone actually goes in after him.
You do, huh? Well, do you finally save him?
Oh, certainly. I haven't lost anybody yet.
I see. Well, that guy was certainly lucky you couldn't count over 7. Now, Duke, do you have any other duties at Catalina besides jumping into the drink after romantic damsels?
Oh, yes, I do. I have a very important job. That is an official greeter for the visitors that come to the island every day.
Oh, well, that's a pretty important job, huh?
Yes, it is.
Well, exactly how do you greet the newcomers to the island?
Well, just before the steamer arrives, all the townspeople gather around at the steamer entrance. We line them up on both sides of the street, and as the first visitor comes off the boat, we all yell, "Hi, neighbor," and then we go into our song.
And what does the visitor do, go back on the boat again?
After each song, we say, "Hi, neighbor, what's cooking?" Say, "Hi, neighbor, what's cooking?"
Hi, neighbor, what's cooking?
Chicken, want a neck? Let's have another one.
Hiya, Joe, what do you know?
No,
that's no good?
No, that's no good.
What?
Hi, neighbor, what's cooking?
Hi, neighbor, what? Oh, I have to keep saying
Keep saying that, because after every song we do, we have a routine.
By this time the boat is sunk and you can't get off the island.
Well, there can't be a better place than at Catalina.
Okay, but hi, neighbor, what's cooking?
Bacon, want a strip?
Oh, you wouldn't be interested in little old me, I don't think. Wait till the Catalina people start wondering why next season was a bad year. Well, you make an interesting couple, and Tony, if Duke wants to rescue you, don't reach into your wagon and give him the raspberry. Now, in just a minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at $1,000. But first, here's news that just can't wait any longer.
It's here. It's new. It's designed for you. DeSoto. DeSoto is the car that's a revelation to ride. DeSoto Plymouth dealers now presented nationwide. So drive a new DeSoto before you decide. The 51 DeSoto, that's a revelation to ride.
Presenting the great new 1951 DeSoto. The car everybody has been waiting for. The magnificent new DeSoto. It's a beauty, all right. As for the ride this proud new DeSoto gives you, well, it's so smooth, so comfortable, so new. It's a revelation. The 1951 DeSoto has an amazing combination of features that bring the motoring public an entirely new concept of driving pleasure. New Oriflow shock absorbers, new big, higher-powered engine, chair-high seats, and a host of other features make driving a dream. Yes, your DeSoto Plymouth dealer proudly presents
the 51 DeSoto, that's a revelation to ride.
See it when it goes on display this Saturday.
All right, now let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question. Fenneman, explain the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of four questions, and the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question at the end of the show.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected big cities of South America. Here's your first question. Now, how much are you going to go for?
Well, let's bet $10. What do you think?
That's okay with me.
We'll be betting $10.
$10. In what country is the city of Rio de Janeiro?
In Brazil.
Brazil is right.
And you're off to a good start. You have $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now, how much of the $30 will you bet on your second question?
Not our money. Let's bet $29. Make it hot.
Okay.
$29.
$29. That'll baffle Fenneman. In what country is the city of Santiago?
Santiago, Chile.
Chile is right.
Finally, you have $59.
How much have we got?
$59.
We have 59. So we bet 58. We'll bet 58.
$58. In what country is the city of Buenos Aires?
Buenos Aires is
Argentina.
Argentina.
Argentina is right.
You're really on your way now. You have $117.
And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 117 you going to go for?
Shoot the works.
In what country is the city of Lima? Lima.
In Peru.
Peru is right.
And you wind up
Something later. Now,
with a grand total of $234.
Well, that's wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Groucho.
Yes?
Secret word is still walk.
Still walk.
That's right. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected an insurance man, and his partner is a housewife. And here they are, Mrs. Francine Plessinger and Mr. William Kent. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life, folks. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you do every day. An insurance man and a housewife, huh?
Yes.
Mr. William Kent, you're the insurance man, I take it.
Yes, sir.
Where are you from, Willie?
I'm from Poland.
And how long since you've left Poland?
Well, I left Poland when I was 18, and in the meantime, I've lived practically all over Europe. I came to America when I was 24, went back to Europe, lived in England for 7 years, and came back to America.
Well, I think you made a very wise decision, Willie. And Mrs. Plessinger, huh? Francine?
Right.
Where are you from?
I'm from Shrub Oak, New York.
From where?
Shrub Oak, New York.
Shrub Oak, New York?
Yes.
Is there a place called Shrub Oak?
There is.
Where is it near?
Jefferson Valley.
Is that near Governor Dewey? Or... where did you say Shrub Oak is near where?
It's near Jefferson Valley.
And where's Jefferson Valley?
Near Lake Mahopac.
Where's Lake Mahopac?
In New York State.
Well, that clarifies everything. What does your husband do, Mrs. Plessinger?
At the present time, he's unemployed, but he is an automobile man.
How did you meet this wheelwright?
Well, I was at Miami Beach, and I was walking along the beach with a grass skirt.
Mrs. Plessinger, you and Mr. Kent have just stuck us for $100, huh? Now, there you are, walking along the beach with a grass skirt. And what happened?
And a man passed by, and he looked at me, and he said, would you mind very much, young lady, if I took a picture of you? And I said, no, not at all.
He was just a nature lover, this man.
so. He stepped back a little bit so that he could focus the camera properly.
A likely story.
And he said, well, no, I guess that isn't quite right now. Just a minute. So he stepped back a little further, and pretty soon he was gone. Just vanished. So I looked into the water, and I saw him coming out with his camera. The water was dripping out of the camera, and there he was. And I said, well, I'm terribly sorry. And he said, well, it'll be perfectly all right if you will have dinner with me this evening. So I did.
Well, that's the most unusual way to meet a man. By the way, is he in the audience tonight?
Yes, would you like to meet him?
Well, not if I have to run on the water with a camera. Now, Mr. Kent, what insurance company do you work for?
Well, I am a broker, and I represent the Fireman's Fund Insurance Company, the Founders Fire Marine Insurance Company.
Marine insurance?
Yes, sir.
Where do they write this? Underwater?
Under and above the water.
Uh-huh. Well, you sell all kinds of insurance, huh?
I sell the insurance and they underwrite it.
Now, suppose I was on a train and somebody stole my clothes. What happened?
Well, if you'd be a client of mine, I'll send you a check.
That's nice. I'm sitting in the Union Depot naked, and they're going to send me a check. Now, I'm pretty well covered with insurance. Let's see how good you are. And you try to sell me some more. You go ahead. Let's see your pitch.
How about some more life insurance?
No, I've got all I need. I could use a little more life, but I don't need any insurance. What else have you got?
Bird insurance.
Let them insure themselves. They make more than I do.
Well, now, Mr. Marks, I think you should do something about insuring your mustache.
For what? Fire or theft? Why should I insure my mustache?
Well, now, you're now on TV, and after all...
That's television, you mean, huh?
Yes.
We call it television. It's shorter than TV, eh?
And after all, the Groucho Marx mustache is your stock and trade. It's a very important item.
I guess that's probably true. 35 years in showbiz, and the only thing worth insuring is my mustache. Okay, you told me. Now, how much should I insure my mustache for?
Well, suppose we capitalize your earnings and say $500,000.
All right, it's a deal. Now, could you advance me $1 on that $500,000? I want to buy a razor. Well, it's been most enlightening talking to you two. I think I've learned one thing about insurance, that the best policy is honesty. The fellow wrote that is now serving 20 years in Leavenworth. Now we're going to play You Bet Your Life. You beat the other couples and the two couples, and you get a chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question. I can't tell you how much our first couple won, but Fenneman's off stage to remind our listeners.
The lifeguard and the good humor girl won $234.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected mythology. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 are you going to try?
Well, shall we say 15?
15? It's all right with me. What was the name of the Roman god of the seas?
Neptune.
Neptune is right.
You have $35.
All right, remember you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now, how much of the 35 will you bet on your second question?
30.
Okay. What were the mythical creatures called that were half men and half horse?
Centaurs.
Centaurs is right. Now you have $65 and 3 centaurs. Now, let's see. How much are you going to bet?
$60.
$60. Have you discussed this with Francine?
Yes, she's agreeable.
She's agreeable to this?
Got courage.
Okay. Well, she may not have any money when she's through, but she'll have courage. What was the name of the river of the underworld over which the dead were ferried?
Did you say the name of the river?
Yes, the name.
Styx.
Styx is right, huh?
Now you find $125.
$125, and here's your last chance to be the other couples. How much of the $125 are you going to risk?
$120.
$120. What was the name of the Greek god of the underworld? Take a stab and talk it over between you now. Well, I'm sorry. The answer is Pluto. Pluto. You should have known that.
And you wind up with $5.
You knew much tougher ones than that. I'm terribly sorry. I'll give you one more question. If you get it right, you'll win $10, so you'll have 15. Now, think hard. No help from the audience. Who was buried in Grant's tomb? General Grant is right, eh? I'm sorry.
Groucho, the secret word is still walk.
Still walk,
We invited some Austrian war brides to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mr. and Mrs. Keith Schwander. And here they come. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, kiddies, to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you do every day. An Austrian war bride and her spouse, eh? What part of Austria are you from?
I'm from Wien-Purkestadt.
Where?
Wien-Purkestadt.
Wien-Purkestadt, yeah. Is that anywhere near Governor Dewey?
No, it's a little town outside of Vienna.
And what is your name, Charlotte?
Charlotte, yes.
Is that just a ruse, or is that really your name? Huh?
That's my name.
Oh, that's your name. Do you have a little pet name, or should I keep calling you Charlotte?
Well, my pet name is Susie.
Susie, yeah? Does that have any reason for that, or is that just a...
Oh, the soldiers in Red Cross didn't pronounce my name right, so one soldier asked me... one soldier called me Susie, and from then on, the whole army called me Susie.
Well, kid, you said you covered a lot of territory, eh?
Maybe not the whole army, but...
Now, how did they get confused between Susie and Charlotte? I mean, there's no connection at all. If they'd called you Charlie, I could have understood.
No, I wouldn't like Charlie.
Well, I wouldn't like Charlie either. As a matter of fact, I despise Charlie. Where are you from?
From Michigan.
Your name is Keith Schwarber.
Keith, yes.
Keith, huh? Well, you're from Michigan?
Michigan,
Whereabouts in Michigan?
Grand Haven.
What sort of work do you do, Keith?
I work for U.S. Electrical Motors. I'm in inside sales work over there, general sales department.
Oh, and Susie, how did you meet Keith?
Oh, I worked in American Red Cross serving the soldiers coffee and donuts, and they always were asking me for a date to...
You were just crazy about donuts, those folks.
But I never did go out with anybody.
You never went with anybody in the whole United States Army?
Oh, to finally he came along.
Is that the whole story, Keith, or did she forget some of the important details?
Well, I thought she refused dates because she didn't like Americans, but I think she had an American on the sly there, a boyfriend. In fact, I know she did, but I was persistent. I ate enough coffee and donuts to finally I kind of worked him out of the way, I think.
How many donuts would you estimate that you ate in the course of this romance?
He was coming in 11 hours a day.
And how many donuts did he eat on each trip, would you say?
Oh, my gosh. I must have eaten hundreds. I don't know how many. I can't eat any today, though. I'm sick of donuts.
You must have been a very heavy lover, I should say. Keith, in the morning, do you kiss your wife or have a cup of coffee first?
I kiss my wife first.
Well, that's very sentimental, isn't it? Isn't it unusual to kiss your wife before you have a cup of coffee?
No, lots of husbands do it.
Doesn't it bother you to have lots of husbands kissing your wife? You keep that up and it's liable to wreck our honeymoon. Is there anything in particular that you miss being here in this country, Susie?
Oh, I miss my parents and my sister and my 3 brothers and the delicious Austrian food.
Such as what?
Oh, Zwetschgenknödel.
What's that?
Zwetschgenknödel and Suppengoulaschen and Zwiebelfleisch and...
What is Zwetschgenknödel?
Zwiebelfleisch?
What is Zwiebelfleisch, huh?
Yes, onions and meat.
Why don't you say that instead of beating around the bush? And what do you like about Austria especially? What is it famous for?
Oh, music and art and tourist country. It's a little country, but a lot of people come there and enjoy the mountains and sports, winter sports.
Did you know any winter sports over there?
I don't
The old
know.
joke used to be, the fellow says to the girl, says, do you like indoor sports? And she says, yes, if they go home early. That's where that joke. Well, that's the origin of this joke about winter sports. I don't want you to think I just made this up. Now that you've been married all these years, Susie, could you tell us what there was about Keith that caught your eye in the first place?
He had a Jeep. And
He had a what?
A Jeep.
A cheap what?
You know, the little cars.
Oh, a cheap car, yeah, then.
No, I mean, you know, the soldiers were riding around, the little things, the little cars, the Jeep.
So we have them here. We call
I think
them...
you spell it G-E-E-P. I don't know.
Now, Keith, what was there about Susie here that made you decide to marry her? As though we had any choice.
Oh, she's beautiful. She used to be sure I had plenty of coffee and donuts all the time.
When you met Susie, could you speak Austrian, Keith?
No.
Well, when you had a date, how did you get along?
There was
Just
always...
toss donuts at each other, huh?
Oh, no. Seemed to be always something we could do.
Let's stick to the subject. I'm asking you a simple question. Well, for example, what did you do on dates?
Oh, we went dancing, swimming, skiing in the wintertime. I like to go fishing.
That was a pretty tough war you were in over there. Huh?
Rugged.
You could have gone to Lake Arrowhead for what you did. Now, what is the official language of Austria, Susie?
German.
German?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Do you have 5 or 6 small maidluck and boy chicks running around at home?
9.
What's that?
9.
9 children, huh? Well,
9 means...
Son of veteran, holy smoke.
9 means no.
No what? No more children? You have no children?
No.
Oh, well, congratulations anyway. Now, you make a happy and charming couple, and if your marriage can survive me, Susie, it'll last a long, long time. That's a nice dramatic quality I got in that last group. Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life. You're a very pretty girl, Susie.
Thank
Anytime
you.
you get sick of the donut situation, give me a buzz, huh? I can speak German. You know, we could go around. I have a cheap car and... Now, you beat our other 2 couples, and you get the chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question. Now, obviously, I can't tell you how much the other couples won, but Fenneman's offstage to remind our listeners.
The lifeguard and the good humor girl are still leading with $234.
So here we go. You have $20. How much of the 20 are you going to bet? You selected famous fighting groups.
10.
Famous fighting groups. Now, that's something you ought to be familiar with while you were skiing and swimming in Switzerland. You bet $10. The troops commanded by Teddy Roosevelt during the Spanish-American War were called what?
Rough Riders.
Rough Riders is right.
You have $30.
Rough Riders in the Sky. Now, here we go. You have $30?
Right.
Remember, you're going for $1,000. How much of the 30 you're going to bet on your second question?
20.
20. What was the name of the flying group that fought under Chennault during the last war?
Flying Tigers.
The Flying Tigers. Now you have $50. How much will you bet on the next one?
40? Yeah. 40.
$40. What were the GIs called in World War I?
Doughboys.
Doughboys is right. Now you've won $90. Now let's see. You have $90. Here's your last chance to beat the other couple.
All of it? All of it.
All of it. Susie's a gambler. What was the name given to Australian and New Zealand troops during the last 2 wars?
Diggers.
One answer between you. Now talk it over now.
I have no idea.
I'm sorry. It's not an easy question. It's the Anzacs.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Well, we can't let them go away empty-handed.
not. Have another question here.
We have another question. You're going to win some money here if it corporizes our entire corporation. I'll give you one more question. You get it right, and you win $10. In what sport do you wear tennis shoes? Tennis is right, Susie.
Yes, Groucho, this couple went broke, and that means the good humor girl and the lifeguard with $234 get the chance of the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question.
DeSoto is the car that's a revelation to ride. DeSoto Plymouth dealers now present it nationwide. So drive a new DeSoto before you decide. The 51 DeSoto, that's a revelation to ride.
Yes, it's a revelation. The great new 1951 DeSoto. You'll enjoy it from the first moment you sit in the luxurious chair-high seats. The whole car is a revelation to ride and drive. From the tiptoe shift to the amazing new Oriflow shock absorbers and feather light steering. Yes, all these and a host of other features mean a ride that's truly a revelation for you. Your DeSoto Plymouth dealer proudly presents
The 51 DeSoto, that's a revelation to ride.
See it when it goes on display this Saturday. And here comes the good humor girl and the lifeguard, all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question, Groucho.
Now, in just 1 minute, you two are going to have a chance to win $1,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully and no help from the audience. Here it is. We all know the United States Naval Academy is at Annapolis. The Army School is at West Point. West Point. But for $1,000, can you tile me? It says here T-E-I-L. Tile me. You think I'm a bathroom, I guess. Can you tile me? I read anything I put in front of me. Quiet, microphone. Stop wiggling around there, will you? Can you tell me, where is the United States Coast Guard Academy? All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
New London, Connecticut.
New London, Connecticut is right. Put it there. What are you, a fine girl? Well, now let's see. You win $1,000 plus $234 in the quiz. You really cleaned up tonight. Congratulations. From the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast, you bet your life.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $1,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
Before I say goodnight, I'd like to thank the more than 500 radio editors of the United States and Canada. Again this year in the Motion Picture Daily Poll, conducted for Fame magazine, they voted our show the best of its kind on the air. Thanks again, and we'll try to live up to the high honor. Good night, folks, and remember, now just be sure to visit your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Slow down at sundown. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is clock. C-L-O-C-K.
Really?
You Bet Your Life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
That's me, Groucho Marx. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples. Fenneman, who's first to try for it?
Well, Groucho, just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a clerk from the unemployment office. Mrs. Louise Ludwig, and her partner, Mrs. Marjorie Kendall, was selected because of her unusual occupation. And here they are. Ladies, come right up here and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome, kids, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if you say the secret word and divide $100, it's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Louise Ludwig?
Yes.
That's you? Where are you from, Louise?
I'm from Honolulu.
From Honolulu?
Yes.
Oh. How long you been away from Honolulu?
It's been many years since I was 12 years old.
It's been many years since you were 12 years old? Oh, I don't think
think so. I think
Shall I
you're
tell
right.
you how many years?
Well, I don't want to pry into your private life, Mrs. Ludwig. You're a very attractive young girl. I'll keep my mouth shut. And you're married, huh?
Yes, Mr.
And,
Mayor.
what does your husband do?
He's a driver's license examiner for the motor vehicle department.
Oh. Well, I'll be mighty nice to you. Marjorie Kendall, you were chosen because of your unusual occupation. Now, what sort of work do you do?
I'm a secretary and part-time genealogist.
Oh, I see. Well, what is a genealogist?
One who trace family lineages, family trees.
Now, Margie, how did you become interested in family trees? Were you looking for termites or...
No, I was looking at my own family history.
Uh-huh. I started looking at my family once, but I stopped when I got to Chico. It was frightening. Now, how far did you trace your family?
To 445 AD.
I'd be satisfied if you could trace me back to 4:45 a.m. Although I'm not sure I want to go back there again. Now, Marjorie, why should people want to know their family trees? Isn't that a little snobbish?
Oh, no. It's a curiosity on the part of almost everyone to know what their family name means.
How about the name Marx? Could you look up the family tree?
Oh, I did several years ago with
You did?
several other Hollywood personalities.
Is that so? And why should you look up my name?
Well, because it was you were an interesting person, and I've always admired you, and was my favorite comedian.
I've never did anything that any other boy couldn't do. Now, what did you find in my family tree?
Oh, mostly, of course, you have a beautiful crest.
Say, you look pretty good yourself. What do you mean by a beautiful crest?
Well, there's in the crest.
You mean a family crest?
Yes, sir.
Like two horse thieves swinging from a potted palm?
Two wings that were partly crossed, and a little bit of gold embellished on them. And
You mean I had wings? That was the crest of the Marx family?
yes, sir.
You mean my forefathers were fan dancers, eh? Now, Mrs., you're with the unemployment office?
Yes, Mr. Marks.
Uh-huh. Where is that?
I work in the harbor area.
In the water? And what are your duties there?
Well, I attempt to find positions for people who are in need of them.
Could you find a position for me?
Well, very possibly. What kind of work are you interested in?
Why should I be interested in work with the racket I've got? Now, suppose I'm unemployed. You can never tell about sponsors, you know. Of course, the DeSoto Plymouth dealers are different, huh? In a DeSoto, you drive without shifting. You ought to be very happy with me. I'm about as shiftless as they come. Where was I? Oh, yes. What kind of jobs do you have the most calls for?
Well, highly skilled technicians, and, of course, good secretaries are always hard to get.
Yes, they are, especially for a man of my age. Even fair ones I'm having difficulty with. Now, how is the unemployment situation out your way right now?
As I say, that demand for highly skilled remains prevalent, but the mackerel season is
The mackerel season is on now?
Yes.
Well, how many unemployed mackerel are there? That's as fishy a story as I ever heard. Now, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,000. But first, here's exciting news I don't want anyone to miss.
It's here. It's new. It's designed for you. DeSoto. DeSoto is the car that's a revelation to ride. DeSoto Plymouth dealers now presented nationwide. So drive a new DeSoto before you decide. The 51 DeSoto, that's a revelation to ride.
Yes, the brand new 1951 DeSoto is a revelation to ride and drive. The amazing combination of features that brings you a new concept of driving pleasure. Your ride will be more pleasant because underneath that hood is a new, big, higher-powered engine. Smoother because of new Oriflow shock absorbers and synchronized springs. Easier because of feather-light steering. These and many other features add up to a ride that's a revelation. No wonder your DeSoto Plymouth dealer so proudly presents
The 51 DeSoto, that's a revelation to ride.
Okay, now let's see if you'll get the chance at the $1,000. Fenneman, explain the rules.
Well, you bet as much of your $20 as you want on each of 4 questions. And the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question at the end of the show.
Okay, here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You've selected personalities of the 20s. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
$10.
$10? Okay. The Bambino was undisputed king of the ballparks during the 20s. What was his name?
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth is right.
And you're on your way. You have $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now, how much of the $30 will you bet on your second question?
29.
29, huh? Okay. Who defeated Jack Dempsey twice, the second time in 1927? He was an ex-Marine.
Gene Tunney.
Gene Tunney is correct.
You're really climbing now. You have $59.
You're climbing with $59. Here's your third question. How much you going to go for?
55.
55. Okay. The hop-along of the 20s was a straight-shooting cowboy with a horse named Tony. What was the cowboy's name?
Tom Mix.
Tom Mix is correct.
Now you have $114.
$114, and here's your last chance to be the other couples. How much of the 114?
Oh.
All of it? Okay, you're gamblers. What was the name of the colorful revivalist who during the 20s drew thousands of people to his meetings?
Billy Sunday.
Billy Sunday is correct.
And you wind up with $228.
Thank you very much.
Fenneman, just a moment. There's something I want to clear up. Remember last week in the quiz, one question was, what do you call the Australian and New Zealand troops of both world wars? You remember that?
I remember the question.
Well, the Austrian war bride and her husband, she said diggers, and I said that was wrong because the official name was Anzacs. Well, a lot of people said diggers was the slang name for him, so we're sending Mr. and Mrs. Schwander $180. Fortunately, it wasn't enough to affect the standings for the big question, so thank heaven that remains the same as it turned out on the show. All right, on with it, Fenneman. Who's next?
We invited some women from the Federation of State Societies to the program tonight, and we selected Mrs. Florence Parsons. Her partner is a husband from the studio audience, Mr. Bob Smith. Folks, come on in here and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, folks, to You Bet Your Life. You say the secret word, and you'll win $100 between you. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Florence Parsons, eh? You're from the Federation of State Societies?
Yes, I am.
What is that? Is that the Confederate Army?
It's an organization of the people from the different states as they've come into California.
I see. Oh, I see. Where are you from?
I'm from Williamsburg, Massachusetts.
Williamsburg? Yeah. What part of California is that in?
Well, that's not in California. It is in Massachusetts.
Williamsburg, isn't that where Cal Coolidge came from?
No, he really was born in Vermont, but he lived in Northampton, just a few miles from Williamsburg, 10 miles.
Did you know Cal Coolidge?
Slightly. They said that I had a longer conversation with him than did any congressman that ever cooled his heels in the White House.
And a congressman can cool plenty of heels, too. Do you remember that conversation at all, Mrs.
Yes,
Parsons?
I do.
Could you give us a little of it?
Well, I was visiting a neighbor of Coolidge, and their farms adjoined. And I was sitting in the garden looking over the hedge when Coolidge was seen approaching. And I wanted to escape, but my friend...
Why, are you a Democrat?
No, I wasn't, but I was afraid to meet him. So he came through the hedge, and when I was introduced, he said, "Oh, from Los Angeles, a beautiful town. I have spoken there. I hope you'll have a pleasant visit and a safe journey home."
Well, that was very nice.
That was about the extent of our conversation.
Well, that was quite a conversation for I don't think Mrs. Coolidge ever got that much out of him. Your name is Bob Smith?
That's correct.
What sort of work do you do, Bob?
I work for a sewing machine company.
A sewing machine? Well, you don't look like you did any sewing.
No, I'm a motorman on a sewing machine.
You're a motorman on a sewing machine? Well, where do you drive it, up Hollywood Boulevard? I suppose old Bobbin pulls it, huh? Well, a bobbin is on a sewing machine. I happen to know because I'm an old so-and-so myself. Now, Bob, where is your home?
I was born in Seattle, Washington, but I left there when I was 2 years old.
Oh. You left there when you were Wanderlust, eh? That's pretty early to leave home, isn't it? Where did you go?
To Alaska.
So Alaska is your home, eh?
No, I went from there to Portland, Oregon.
Is Portland your hometown?
No, from Portland I went to Niagara Falls.
Oh, that's your hometown, eh?
No, went to Washington, D.C.
For a 2-year-old, you certainly got around. Well, I can keep this up as long as you can. Where did you go after that?
Washington, D.C., I went to Dallas, Texas.
The sheriff never got tired, huh? Well, I give up. Let's leave you right where you are, and don't move until I come back to you, will you? You're liable to be in Tampa by the time I get there. Mrs. Parsons, how old are you?
Old? Why, we never talk of age in the Federation. We are ageless.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Parsons. How young are you?
Well, the gypsies tried to steal me when I was 5 years old.
I may steal you tonight, Mrs. Parsons.
This man is a gypsy.
This man is a gypsy?
Yes.
You're a gypsy? You don't look like a gypsy. I thought all gypsies wore bandanas and played the accordion and wore gold earrings. Why, you look just like me. Why is that?
A lot of gypsies do.
Anybody care to have his palm read? Are you married, Bob?
Yes, I am.
How did you meet your wife?
My father introduced her to me.
Well, that was a very friendly gesture on your part. Why was your father so interested in this girl?
Well, he gave $1,500 for her and selected her to be my wife.
It's a lot of money for one girl. How come your father paid $1,500 for your wife?
Well, that's a custom among the English gypsies and among all the gypsies.
Always pay $1,500?
No, not necessarily.
Can you get one for $6.98 or something like that?
Hardly.
How much did your wife weigh at this time?
About 70 pounds.
$1,500 and 70 pounds. Let's see that. That comes to about $22 a pound. That's a pretty stiff price to pay for a wife. You can buy caviar for $22 a pound. Of course, it's pretty lonely in the evening sitting there with a dish of caviar. You think your father made a shrewd investment, Bob?
I think so, because very short time after we was married, my wife made enough telling fortunes to pay my father back.
Oh. She should have read her own fortune first, and she'd be $1,500 ahead. And has this marriage turned out successfully? Have you been happy, Bob?
Yes, very successfully. I got about the best girl in the world.
Well, you ought to know. You've been all over the world. Now, Mrs. Parsons, tell us something about your work. What sort of work do you do?
Well, my work is very complicated. It consists of so many details. We have picnics for every state in the Union.
I used to entertain at picnics. I was known as a picnic ham.
In a sandwich?
Yes, in a sandwich. I was boiled a good deal of the time. Well, what is the largest of these picnics?
Iowa is by far the largest. We often have 130,000 at the Iowa picnic. And,
imagine 130,000 people at a picnic.
Oh, we have.
To me, it's no picnic if there's more than 2 people, Mrs. Parsons. And sometimes even then it's no picnic. How much did your husband pay for you, Mrs. Parsons?
Nothing at all.
He got you for nothing? Well, he stole you.
That is as you think.
Well, I certainly do. I think you were a big bargain. Have you been a good wife, Mrs. Parsons?
I think I have. Fairly good.
Oh, you're qualifying it now,
yes.
Huh? All the time you've been married, you've been good for nothing, eh? That's an old joke, but I've chased this gypsy so much tonight, I'm getting weary, eh? Well, this has been an interesting conversation, and if I ever want my palm read, I'll stick it in a bucket of red paint. Now then, let's see how well you make out in the race with $1,000. Now, you've got to run your $20 into more than our other couples. I can't tell you how much our first couple won, but Fenneman's off stage to remind our listeners.
The unemployment clerk and the genealogist won $228.
Now, here we go. You have $20. You selected scrambled proverbs. How much are you going to bet on your first question?
$10.
You can bet anything you want. $10? Is that all right with you, Florence?
Yes.
I'll call you Florence. Huh?
Certainly.
Now, here's your first question. You're betting $10. What is this proverb? A dolt and his legal tender are quickly disassociated.
Man and his money are soon parted. A fool and his money is soon parted.
That's right. A fool and his money is soon parted.
Now you have $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now, how much of the 30 are you going to risk?
25.
A rotating boulder will not amass a form of lichen.
A rolling stone will gather no more.
A rolling stone gathers no more.
You'll be able to roll up to $55.
Florence, you're a pretty sharp cookie. Now, how much are you going to bet on your third question?
50.
50?
Yes, 50.
Here we go. It is inadvisable to enumerate fowls in your possession prior to the moment of their nativity.
Do not count your chickens
Before they hatch. Is absolutely right.
Now you two have climbed to $105.
Florence, have you been a chicken thief in your earlier days?
No, I never was.
Oh, well, a goose thief or a duck thief or any kind of fowl?
No, nothing of that kind.
Oh, that's a foul question. Here's your last chance to beat the other guy. What is this proverb? How much are they betting?
They haven't bet all of it. Is that right?
Do you want to bet all of it?
105.
I don't.
Okay. A dual cranium is more acceptable than a single.
Two heads are better than
Two
one.
heads are better than one. Clarence, put it there.
Yes, there they are, because you wind up with $210.
Well, that's wonderful.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to you both. That's quite a gal, isn't
Sure
it?
is. Well, Groucho, the
We all have a tendency to emphasize youth too much, and you see a gal like that, and it's really wonderful.
the secret word, you know, is still clock.
I know, I understand that.
Well, we invited some...
My memory isn't faltering yet, Ben.
I didn't mean that.
Even though yours is. No innuendos from you.
We invited some Hawaiian dancing girls to the program tonight.
Now you're talking.
And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Heilani Kawela.
Never mind this nonsense. Bring her in here, will you?
And her partner is a fencing master, Monsieur Jean Aeromance. And here they are. Folks, come over here and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers, huh? Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. A fencing master and a hula dancer, eh? Well, this may be interesting. He may cut off her grass skirt. Heilani Kawela, is that right?
Heilani.
Heilani Kawela. Where are you from, Heilani?
The islands.
The islands, eh? The islands. Which islands? Coney, Catalina, or 1,000?
I'm from Hawaii.
Hawaii. Is that the correct pronunciation? I thought it was Hawaii.
No, that's not right. Hawaii is correct.
Oh, you couldn't say Hawaii just once, huh? Please?
That's not correct.
What isn't correct?
Hawaii.
I'm all right. How are you? Hello, Mom. It was a great fight, but I won. And Mr. Harriman, then? If you think I'm going to watch you tonight, you're crazy. Huh? You're a fencing master, huh? Where you from?
Brussels, Belgium.
Oh, from Belgium, huh? You were raised in Belgium? You're sort of a Brussels sprout, then, in other words. But are you married?
Yes, sir.
Some fencer. He's got a sword hanging over his own head. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Oh, thank the Lord. And praise the grass skirts. I guess it'd be pretty hard for a hula dancer to nod her head yes when the rest of her is saying no. Where do you do your hula dancing?
Well, I work mostly casuals, one-night stands.
Where do you do your work, Gene?
At the Los Angeles Athletic Club and the University of Southern California.
Oh, well, that's a good place for a fence. Exactly what do you do there? Do you pick it?
No, I teach fencing because fencing is a very popular sport now. It's very becoming.
Is that so? It's increasing in popularity?
Very,
well,
very
what is
much.
there about fencing that makes it so popular?
Well, for women, for instance, grace, poise, elegance. For men, fast reaction. Then also the spirit of sportsmanship.
You mean puncturing somebody is sportsmanship?
Well, in some way, yes.
You carry bicycle tape in your back pocket or something? Suppose I wanted to take up fencing. What would I need?
First of all, a mask, jacket.
What do you think I'm wearing now?
I was saying a mask, a jacket, trousers, and tennis shoes, if possible.
Tennis shoes? What's that, for running?
No, you want slide when you make your lunch.
Uh-huh. I make my lunch? Don't I carry my lunch with me? Well, wouldn't it be nice if I had a sword, too?
We don't use sword anymore.
You don't use a sword in fencing? What do you use, a mixmaster?
No, we use...
What do you mean, no swords?
We use foil, épée, and sabre.
Épée? Isn't he one of the 7 dwarfs?
No, it's a blade.
Well, épée was a blade, I remember that. Well, let's talk about the hula. For example, just what is the hula? Besides a good way to keep warm on a cold night.
Tells a story by dancing.
Uh-huh. And all this time I've been wasting my time reading books. What kind of stories does it tell? Mysteries?
There's no mystery about the hula.
Well, doesn't that depend on whether the grass on the skirt needs cutting? What kind of stories can you tell by dancing?
Oh, you tell love stories, and stories about the trees, the sun, the moon. They're all very simple stories.
Mm-hmm. Well, how does dancing tell a story? I don't understand.
Well, it tells a story by using the hands and the arms.
Mm-hmm.
Each
gesture you make has some significance, I suppose?
Yes, that's right.
And I bet you've told many a story and then tried to wiggle out of it, huh? Well, you've been a very interesting couple, particularly you, Helani. And if I ever do any fencing, you can be sure it won't be with a hula dance. Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life. You run your $20 into more than the other couples, and you'll get a chance at the $1,000 question. I can't tell you how much the other couples won, but Fenneman's going to remind our listeners.
The unemployment clerk and the genealogist are still leading with $228.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected modern composers. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
$10.
$10? Okay. Who composed Begin the Begin?
Cole Porter.
Cole Porter is right. $30. Remember, you're going for $1,000. How much of the 30 are you going to try?
20.
20? Who composed Summertime?
Gershwin.
Gershwin is right.
And you climbed to $50.
Now you got $50. Here's your third question. How much of the 50?
40.
40 you're going to bet? All right. Who composed I've Told Every Little Star? Take a guess. Talk it over. And if you don't know, guess. Well, the bell is tolled. It was Jerome Kern. You should have known that. It's a very, very popular and very well-known song.
You now have $10.
Well, that's a shame. Now, it's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 10 will you bet?
Well, just
10.
Shoot the works? Okay. Who composed White Christmas?
Irving Berlin.
Irving Berlin is right.
And you wind up with a grand total of $20, and that means the unemployment clerk and the genealogist with $228 get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question. All over the country this week, wherever the famous DeSoto Plymouth sign is displayed, people have been stopping, looking, and buying. Yes, and you know what they've been buying. The great new 51 DeSoto. Wherever you see this year's DeSoto, you'll see crowds gathering to admire it. But the real cause for admiration is the ride DeSoto gives you. Smooth, unbelievably comfortable. It's a revelation. What gives this amazing new concept of driving pleasure? Well, a great many features, such as a big new higher-powered engine, amazing new Oriflow shock absorbers, feather light steering. Features like these add up to driving pleasure you never dreamed possible. Yet DeSoto sells for only a few dollars more than the lowest cost car. So follow the crowd to your DeSoto Plymouth dealers and see
the 51 DeSoto, that's a revelation to ride.
Here comes the winning couple, Groucho, the unemployment clerk and the genealogist. All set for the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question.
All right, here we go for $1,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully and please no help from the audience. Here it is. One of our presidents served only 30 days, the shortest service in presidential history. For $1,000, tell me, who was this president? All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Guess we're wrong, but we thought Buchanan.
No, I'm sorry. It was William Henry Harrison. That was a tough question. But anyway, you won... How much did they win?
$228.
You won $220, so that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, you lost the big money, but you won $220 in the quiz. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you, and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $1,500. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
By the way, folks, if you have nothing better to do, you might curl up with the February issue of Coronet Magazine and read the piece about me by my brother Harpo. It doesn't make any sense, but I think you'll enjoy it. The February Coronet Magazine. Good night, folks, and remember... Now just be sure to visit your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Keep your car in safe operating condition. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
Now 4 gents out to the right and swing, side of goodness old, you might right, back home and swing your tall and
And
cross.
tip the canoe and tile it too. You have a very fine voice, Charlie. That's a lie, but you're among friends here. So. Do you work, Ellen?
Oh, yes.
What do you do?
I run the elevator at the Broadway Hollywood here in town.
Is that so? Well, that's the finish of the May Company as far as I'm concerned. Do you listen to what people are saying in your vertical cement mixer?
No, I don't pay attention.
You don't pay any attention at all? You don't, eh? Somebody says second floor, you just ignore him and haul him up to the roof. Now, Ellen, you girls must have a few complaints against the public. Now, this is your chance to talk up. What annoys you most in your job?
Men that smoke cigars on my car. I'm sorry, but it's true.
Well, don't look at me. I always crawl up the back stairs. I'd like to use the escalator, but I can't seem to get off one of those things. I stand there for 10 minutes. I don't know which foot to start with. Now, what else annoys you in the elevator?
Well,
and who else annoys you in the elevator?
very often I'll have be standing out on the main floor, and the up light will be on, and I'll stand there and smile and very sweetly try to be very sweet and say, "Car going up, please. Going up over here. Going up, please." Someone will be walking towards me, and they'll get about 3 feet away, and they say, "Going down?" I have to give them a nice big smile. "Going up, please."
Well, you know what it is, Ellen. They're so bewitched. You're not married?
No, sir.
Why not?
I haven't found the right one yet.
Well, the evening's young, and so are you. And so am I. And one of us is a liar. Where are you all from, Charlie?
I was born in Breckenridge, Texas.
Oh, a couple of Southerners we've got here tonight. Huh?
I'm not Southern.
You're not Southern? Well, you're half Southern. Half Southern and half Maryland fried chicken. Charlie, what sort of work do you do?
I'm a caller.
A caller? What kind of a caller? A hog caller? A train caller? Or just a white collar worker?
A square dance caller.
A square dance caller. Oh, I see. Do you call them the same things I call them? Can anybody dance a square dance?
Anybody, sir.
Could an old rounder like me dance a square dance?
Well, anybody that knows their right from their left can square dance.
Well, that answers the question, all right. I'll take up hopscotch. Or just scotch. Do you take your wife with you when you go square dancing, Charlie?
No, sir. I don't have a wife.
Oh, that's right. And whose wife do you take with you?
Nobody's wife.
You don't take anybody's wife with you? And you're
No,
a
sir.
square even when you're not dancing. What is your favorite square dance, Charlie, and how does it go?
Well, I like, best of all, I guess, Sally Gooden.
Sally Gooden, well, that sounds...
That's if I'm dancing.
Uh-huh. Well, how does that go?
Well, starts
Did you
with the first...
swing it loud and clear?
You mean call it?
Yeah, let's hear you call it.
Right? Right here?
Yeah, stop giggling, Charlie.
I'm not giggling. Well, you bow to your partner, lady on left knoll, join hands in circle south. Now circle right about a mile, lady in leading Indian style, right back.
Even the bumpiest roads feel like a super highway. And the result? You drive relaxed, free from tension, and with a new confidence and peace of mind that means you drive more safely, too. So see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer and arrange for your ride. Put the new Plymouth through its paces on the roughest roads in town. Then you'll know why the new Plymouth is today's biggest value among low-priced cars.
Now, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,000 question. Fenneman, explain the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions, and the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question at the end of the show.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected Western movie heroes. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 are you going to try?
I don't know. Do you?
You say.
All right, $10.
$10. What was the name of the masked man of the West with a pal called Tonto?
Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger is correct. And you're off to a good start. You have $30. You got $30. Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. How much of your 30 are you going to bet on this one?
How much?
Talk up, and
Well...
and play your bets and tip a canoe and tile too.
$15?
$15.
Okay.
15 smackolas. What is the name of the cowboy with a pal named California and a horse named Topper?
That's Hopalong Cassidy.
Hopalong Cassidy is right.
You have $45.
All right, you got $45. Here's your third question. How much of the 45 are you going to tamper with?
$20?
That'll be fine.
All right. What is the name of the cowboy who has an Indian boy named Little Beaver as a pal?
Red Rider.
Red Rider is correct.
And your final is $65.
$65. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 65 are you going to go for?
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is lamp. L-A-M-P.
Really?
You bet your life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You'll Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Groucho! That's me, Groucho Marx. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples. Fenneman, who's first to try for it?
Well, we asked if there were any young single people present tonight who'd like to get married someday.
Mm-hmm.
Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Ellen Chambers and Mr. Charles Crumb. And here they come. Folks, step up here and meet Groucho Marx. Right in here.
Welcome, youngsters, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Ellen Chambers, huh? Where are you from, Ellen?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore?
Mm-hmm.
Very pretty girl.
Thank you.
Is that the standard Maryland type?
Oh, much better than
Much better?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a straight train that runs right from here to Baltimore? I mean, without touching Johns Hopkins? I've never touched Johns Hopkins right away. I tried to touch him for $5 once, but I didn't quite make it. How old are you, Ellen?
20.
20, yeah? Mm-hmm. And Mr. Charles Crum, is that right?
Correct, sir.
How old are you, Charlie, my boy?
25, sir.
25, huh? Rich by your beauty that they don't pay any attention to what you're saying.
No, that bargain's up on the 4th floor, and they want to get there as fast as they can.
Oh, the bargains. I thought the bargains were in the basement.
No, not in our store.
Oh.
Confuses everyone.
Well, I know in Macy's they're in the basement. If Macy's don't send me one whole floor for saying that, there's going to be trouble, huh? Well, Ellen, could you call out a few floors for us? Say we're approaching the 4th floor where the bargains are. Now, how would you announce the items there?
Well, I say 4th floor next, lingerie, ladies' powder room, bathrobes, and collegienne shop, and hat bar.
A hat bar? What's a hat bar?
Well, that's where the cheaper hats are, and I always love to say when someone gets in the car and they say, where's the millinery? And I always love to say, better millinery on 3, hat box on 4, and then wait to see where they get off. They all get off on 3 and walk up to 4.
She's very pretty, but I wouldn't like to be married to her. I'd always be getting off at the wrong floor. Well, you're a charming couple, and I'm sure the 3 of us will be very happy together. Now, in just a minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,000 question. But first, a word about the exciting new Plymouth.
It's here, the exciting new Plymouth. And what a beauty. From every angle, a brand new look. And inside, luxurious new styling and color harmony.
And wait till you drive it. You're in for a brand new riding sensation. Plymouth's Safety Flow Ride, a revolutionary new use of hydraulic principles. First time in any car at any price.
Ruts in the road?
They just don't exist in a new Plymouth.
Dips in the detours?
Your new Plymouth eats them up.
Backseat bounce?
Not on your life. Rolling along in your new Plymouth,